Hello friends. Today we are going to talk about The Power of Self-Confidence by Brian Tracy. Gene was an ordinary boy who dreamed big in his small town, but nothing seemed to go right in his life. Every day felt like a repetition of the same old problems. He couldn't concentrate on his studies, his friends didn't take him seriously, and his family always faced financial struggles. A constant question lingered in Gene's heart. When will something good happen in my life? He felt surrounded by loneliness and worry. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't understand why things were so tough, nor why he felt incapable of doing anything about it. Every time he thought about taking action, the fear of failure held him back. His confidence was shattered. One day, as Gene sat in the park with disappointment clearly visible on his face, a man approached him. There was something peaceful about the man's face, as if he had found all the answers to life. He sat next to Gene and said, "You don't seem to be doing well, son. What's the matter?" Gene hesitated for a moment, but eventually opened up to the stranger. He shared how lost he felt, how he couldn't figure out what he wanted to do, and how he lacked confidence in himself. The man listened carefully, then smiled slightly and asked, "What's your name?" "Gene," he replied. "I understand what you're feeling," the man said. "This is nothing new. I was just like you once, but one thing changed my life: clarity." "Clarity?" Gene asked, a little confused. "Yes, clarity. If you don't know what you want to do, you can never move in the right direction. The first step to self-confidence is understanding what you truly want. What are you working for? What are your priorities, and what are your values? Until you make that clear, you will always feel confused and troubled." Gene stayed silent for a while, then said, "But I don't know what I want to do with my life." The man took a deep breath and said, "That confusion is very normal, especially at your age. But if you start asking yourself what's most important to you, slowly things will become clearer. What are your values? What brings you happiness from within? Who do you want to work for?" Gene nodded, though it still felt a bit overwhelming. Sensing his struggle, the man continued, "Look, Brian Tracy, a motivational writer, explains in his book The Power of Self-Confidence that true confidence comes when a person's actions align with their values. If you know what you want and why, every step you take will feel right. But when you stray from your values, that's when your confidence starts to erode." A look of understanding began to form in Gene's eyes. "So, I need to figure out my values and goals first?" "Exactly," the man replied. "Once you know what you want in life, and those things align with your core values, your confidence will naturally begin to grow. And that clarity will give you direction, preventing distractions along the way." Gene felt like he had learned something valuable that day. A new hope started to rise in his heart as he listened closely to the man's words. The man continued, "Now it's your job to figure out what's important to you. What do you want to work for, and which values matter most to you? Once you know that, you'll begin to trust yourself." For the first time, Gene felt that maybe his life could change. The man slowly stood up, and as he bid farewell, he said, "Remember, son, clarity is the key to confidence. Until you know what you want to do, you won't get anywhere." Gene took those words to heart. A new chapter of his life was about to begin. He decided that his first step would be to understand his values and goals, then work toward them. With newfound clarity and hope, he began thinking about living his life with purpose. This was only the beginning. There was still so much to learn, and Gene was now ready for the journey. Many changes started to take place in Gene's mind from that day onward. Where he had once been confused about his life, now he had a sense of direction. He knew he needed to clarify his values and goals and set his priorities straight. However, the real question remained: how to start? A few days later, the same man met Gene again in the park. This time, Gene looked a little calmer and more confident, though there were still some lingering questions in his eyes. The man came near smiling and said, "So, Jim, have you thought about your values?" Jim nodded and said, "Yes, I tried. I understood that I have to improve myself and do something meaningful, but now I don't know how to move forward. I'm afraid that if I don't choose the right goal, I'll fail again." The man sat near him and listened carefully. With a light smile, he said, "Jim, you're on the right track. But remember, just understanding your values is not enough. You need to convert them into practical goals." Jim asked, a little confused, "Practical goals?" "Yes," the man said. "Brian Tracy has said something very important: commitment to goals. If you don't set clear, ambitious goals, your hard work will feel meaningless. But these goals should be viable, so that you can trust yourself at every small step." Jim listened closely. The man continued, "The first thing you need to do is break your big dreams into small goals. You can't achieve everything at once, but by setting small goals and achieving them, your confidence will grow automatically." "But how do I know if my goals are realistic?" Jim asked. The man smiled. "That's the key lesson. Start with small steps. Suppose you dream of doing something big, first set small milestones. Like, if you want to do well in studies, focus on small chapters. Gradually, as you achieve these small goals, your confidence will build, and then you'll be ready for bigger ones." Jim understood a little more, but still hesitated. "What if I fail? I've tried many times, but something always goes wrong." The man took a deep breath. "Failure is also a way of learning, Jim. It's part of the process. But the most important thing is commitment. Until you're committed to your goals, you won't be able to trust yourself. Start small, but give your best. Tracy says that when you're fully committed, you discover a new power in yourself. Every small victory builds your confidence, leading you toward your big dreams." Jim nodded and said, "So, I should start with small goals and be fully committed to achieving them?" "Absolutely," the man replied. "Set a small challenge every day. If you want to improve in studies, read a chapter a day. If you want to learn a new skill, practice a little every day. These small steps will build great confidence." Jim thought for a moment, then said, "But I'm always afraid of giving up halfway. Every time I start something, something happens and I quit." The man replied seriously, "Jim, this is where commitment makes all the difference. When you're committed to a goal, giving up is no longer an option. Tracy says that you have to make every possible effort to achieve your goals, no matter what happens. Once you reach the mental state of 'I will definitely complete this,' that's when miracles happen." A spark appeared in Jim's eyes. He realized this might be the missing piece, his lack of true commitment. He used to try, but not with full dedication. The man stood up to leave and said, "Now the real challenge lies ahead. Set small, achievable goals for yourself and work with full commitment. Every time you achieve a goal, your trust in yourself will grow. That's where your real confidence comes from, the strength to face any challenge." Jim smiled and nodded. He now had a plan, small goals and full commitment. A new light had entered his life, and he knew that if he stayed on this path, one day he would fulfill all his big dreams. The man smiled at Jim and walked away. Jim now believed in himself and his journey. A few more days passed, and Jim steadily worked on his small goals. He applied what he had learned about commitment in his daily life, and he was starting to feel that commitment itself was a big achievement. Jim felt that there were changes happening in his life. Now, he would wake up every morning, set small tasks for his day, and work hard to complete them. Although it was just the beginning, his confidence had started to grow. Yet, deep within, he felt that something was still missing. One day, Jim was sitting in the same park where his journey of change had begun. The same person, who had first helped him transform, appeared before him again. He was smiling, as if he already knew what Gene needed this time. The man came close, sat down on the bench, and asked, "How is everything going?" Gene, with a hint of enthusiasm, replied, "Very good. I've started making small goals and working hard to complete them. But I still feel like something is missing. I don't feel completely in control." The man remained silent for a moment, then spoke. "Gene, you've done well in learning commitment and focusing on your goals. But there's one more crucial thing you need to understand: the mental laws of self-confidence." Gene, a bit surprised, asked, "Mental laws?" The man nodded and continued, "Yes, Tracy talked about certain mental laws that help boost self-confidence. These laws explain the connection between your thoughts and your actions. When you understand and align your thinking with these laws, you can strengthen your confidence even more." Gene was listening intently. He knew he was about to learn something important. The man began to explain. "The first law is the law of cause and effect. This law says that behind every result, there's a cause. Whether you succeed or fail, you are the reason behind it. It's essential to realize that whatever is happening in your life is the result of your thoughts and actions." Gene, still a bit confused, asked, "So, it means that everything I do is the result of my decisions and actions?" The man nodded. "Exactly. And that's why, when you take full responsibility for your actions and decisions, you feel empowered. Tracy says that once you understand that every outcome is the result of your choices, you gain control over your life. If your thoughts are positive, you'll be able to steer your life in the right direction. Remember, when you take the right actions, you'll get the right results." Gene took a deep breath and thought, "From now on, I need to take every action thoughtfully." The man smiled and added, "Not just actions, your thoughts are equally important. Now, the second law is the law of attraction. Tracy explains that whatever you think about, you attract into your life. If your thoughts are positive, positive outcomes will come your way. But if you focus on negativity, you'll invite negativity into your life." Curious, Gene asked, "So my thoughts shape the outcomes of my life?" "Absolutely," the man affirmed. "Your thoughts influence your actions, and those actions determine the results you see in life. That's why Tracy emphasizes the importance of maintaining positive thoughts. When you fill your mind with positive images, you naturally attract positive outcomes." Gene was now even more focused, realizing why so many negative things had happened in his life. His thinking had often revolved around fear and failure, and perhaps that's why he encountered the same. The man continued, "And now, the last law, the law of correspondence. This law states that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions impact every aspect of your life. If your mindset is positive, your life will reflect that positivity. But if negativity resides inside you, it will manifest in your outer world as well." Gene pondered for a moment, then asked, "So, I need to change my thinking and beliefs first, for my life to change?" The man nodded. "Exactly. Tracy says that until you make your inner world positive, you won't see positivity in your outer world. You need to direct your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions toward positivity. When your inner world becomes positive, it will be mirrored in your life." Gene was now beginning to understand why things had gone wrong in his life until now. He thought, "Perhaps I should focus on changing my thinking. If I think positively, my outcomes will likely be positive too." The man stood up, looked at Gene, and said, "Now, Gene, it's time for you to apply these 3 mental laws in your life: the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, and the law of correspondence. When you align your thoughts with these principles, you will see the changes you're looking for." Gene nodded, ready to embrace this new understanding and take control of his life with renewed confidence. Understand the effect and take responsibility for your actions. According to the law of attraction, always think positive and be drawn towards positive outcomes. Remember the principle of correspondence. Your outer life is a reflection of your inner thoughts and beliefs. When you start living by understanding these rules, your confidence will grow automatically. Jean nodded, smiling, and said, I understand. Now I have to focus on my thoughts and actions and move towards my goals with a positive mindset. The man smiled again and slowly took leave from Jean and went away. Now Jean had a new direction. He realized that not only actions, but his thoughts also had the power to change his life. His journey was now at a new stage, and he was fully prepared to move forward on that path. A few weeks passed. Jean was now feeling more organized and focused in his life. He understood the mental shifts and tried to apply them in his thinking and life. Changes were gradually happening, but challenges still remained every day. Amidst his struggles, he sometimes felt hopeless and had difficulty facing challenges. He thought maybe he still needed to learn something more. Then one day, the same stranger came to Jean once again. Upon seeing him, a slight smile appeared on Jean's face. This person had become a guide for Jean, always appearing at the right time to show him direction. The man noticed that Jean was now more confident than before, but something still needed to be addressed. The man asked, sitting on the bench, So how are you, Jean? It seems you have learned the lessons I taught you well, but I think there is still something more to learn, right? Jean said a bit seriously, Yes, I've thought about cause and effect and attraction and tried to keep my thinking positive. But when difficulties arise, I sometimes deviate from my path. I feel like I'm not able to stay fully disciplined. The man smiled and said, Absolutely right. Discipline and persistence are the next steps that will help you move forward. He continued, Tracy has said something very important. Discipline and persistence are the foundation of confidence. Jean listened carefully. The man went on to explain. Tracy says that true confidence comes when you can do the tasks that are difficult or make you uncomfortable. Discipline is what keeps you on the right path, no matter how many challenges you face. Jean, slightly confused, asked, But I often give up when things get difficult. I feel weak and want to quit. The man took a deep breath and said, This is where discipline and persistence make you strong. Discipline means making a commitment to yourself that no matter how difficult it gets, you will complete the task. Persistence means continuing toward your goal without stopping, no matter how many obstacles arise. Jean nodded. So, it means I should not only start the work, but remain committed with discipline to finish it. Exactly, the man replied. When you're in tough times, if you keep working, you will develop resilience. Resilience means not giving up in the face of difficulties. Tracy says that when you show discipline during tough situations, a deep self-belief forms inside you. This belief gradually makes you stronger from within, increasing your confidence. Jean listened even more attentively, understanding why he often gave up during struggles. He realized he was afraid of facing challenges, and that fear held him back. The man continued, Look, challenges come in everyone's life, but those who are ready to face these challenges gain real confidence. Discipline isn't just about completing daily tasks, it's about doing them even when you don't feel like it. True growth happens when you push beyond your comfort zone. Curious, Jean asked, But how can I make myself more disciplined? What should I do? The man replied, Start by taking small steps. You're already setting small goals and achieving them. Now, you need to work on those goals with discipline. When difficulties arise, face them. Don't run away. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, your confidence becomes stronger. It will happen. Tracy says that discipline is the link between your goals and your success. Jean thought, I just have to keep working continuously, no matter how many difficulties come. The man nodded in agreement and said, Yes, persistence is equally important. Many times we start with discipline, but when things become difficult, we leave it in the middle. Tracy says only those who are persistent reach their goals. Every time you're on the verge of giving up, but still remain engaged, the foundation of your confidence becomes stronger, the man added. James said seriously, both discipline and persistence work together. Absolutely, the man responded. Discipline keeps you on the path, and persistence gives you the strength to keep going. When you bring both into your life, you'll feel unstoppable. Your self-belief will become so strong that nothing will be able to stop you. Gene began thinking with more clarity. He understood that confidence doesn't come just by thinking, but by doing something. To achieve something, hard work and perseverance are needed. Now he realized why he had given up many times before. He lacked discipline and persistence. But now he was ready. The man stood up and smiled at Gene. Now you must move towards your goals with discipline and persistence. Take small steps every day and stay focused on your work. No matter how many difficulties arise, face them and keep moving forward. The journey won't be easy, but when you complete it with discipline and persistence, your confidence will grow automatically. The man slowly walked away, but Gene now had a new understanding and energy in his mind. He knew his real test had begun. He committed to working hard every day with discipline and persistence, staying focused on his journey. Gene decided to bring discipline into his life, preparing daily to complete his tasks, no matter how difficult or easy. He made a promise to himself that he would not give up. Gradually, Gene started feeling the results of his hard work. His confidence grew stronger, and he began moving closer to his goals. His life had changed significantly in the last few months. He was no longer the weak, disappointed person he once was. He had new confidence and faced challenges daily with discipline and perseverance, feeling stronger than ever. However, there were still big challenges ahead, and he didn't feel fully prepared for them yet. One day, while sitting in the park, James saw the same stranger approaching him again. James smiled as if he already knew he was about to learn something new. The man came close and said, "It seems you've understood discipline and perseverance well, but there's one more step to fully strengthen your confidence." James asked curiously, "And what is that?" The man took a deep breath and said, "Now it's time for visualization and positive thinking. These are tools that help you program your mind for success. Tracy says that if you mentally visualize yourself being successful, your subconscious mind will start believing it to be true. This reduces anxiety and prepares you for real-life challenges." Gene found this concept strange. "Visualization means I have to see myself successful in my mind?" he asked. The man nodded. "Yes, absolutely. When facing a big challenge, like an exam or public speaking, if you visualize yourself being successful beforehand, your subconscious mind will accept it as reality. This reduces anxiety, allowing you to face challenges with confidence." Gene still had doubts. "But can things really change just by thinking?" The man laughed. "Not just by thinking, but by thinking in the right way. Visualization is mental rehearsal. When you repeatedly see yourself being successful in your mind starts believing it as truth. So when you face the real challenge, you approach it with the same confidence. That's why many athletes and successful people use this method." Gene nodded, ready to embrace this new step in his journey towards success. Gene slowly started understanding that many times when he faced a challenge, he would give up beforehand. His mind would drift into negative thinking, and because of that, he would often fail. Now, he realized that if he visualized himself being successful beforehand, maybe he could truly succeed. The man further explained that visualization alone wasn't enough. Positive thinking was equally important. When you keep your thoughts positive, you attract positive things into your life. Tracy says, "Your thoughts are the foundation of your life. If you always think negatively, then negativity will show up in your life. But if you think positively, that positive energy will manifest in your life. Jean listened carefully and asked, "So, do I need to practice seeing myself as successful every day?" The man replied, "Yes, take some time each day to visualize yourself in situations where you are succeeding, whether it's public speaking, an interview, or any other challenge. First, see yourself succeeding in your mind, then face the challenge in reality. This will build your confidence, and you'll be able to confront any challenge without fear." Jean nodded. "I understand. So it's about programming my mind for success, and then taking on the real challenge with that mindset." Music. "Exactly," the man said. "Tracy teaches that visualization and positive thinking are tools to keep you confident in any situation. When your mind remains positive, and you repeatedly see yourself succeeding, success will start appearing in your real life too." Jean thought for a moment and realized, "So, it means I can take control of my own mind." The man agreed. "Yes, your mind is your greatest weapon. If you use it wisely, nothing can stop you." From that day, Jean began practicing visualization and positive thinking. Every morning, he would take time to visualize himself facing the biggest challenges of his life and overcoming them, whether it was delivering a speech, preparing for an exam, or dealing with personal struggles. In his mind, he always saw himself as the winner. Within a few weeks, Jean noticed that his anxiety had decreased. Where once he had feared big challenges, now he approached them with confidence. The practice of visualization had prepared him mentally, and his confidence had grown stronger than ever. Now, before any major challenge, Jean would already see himself succeeding in his mind. This mental rehearsal fully prepared him for the actual event, and in real life, things started to flow more smoothly. The transformation Jean had been striving for had finally taken hold. Along with discipline and persistence, he had now made visualization and positive thinking a regular part of his life. He realized that self-confidence wasn't just an inherent quality, it could be developed like a skill. Jean now possessed the tools to face any challenge. He understood that confidence wasn't just about grand gestures, but was built step by step through daily actions. Visualization and positive thinking had given him the mental strength he had long sought. One day, the man came to visit Jean again. Seeing the newfound calm and confidence in Jean's demeanor, the man asked with a smile, "How are you feeling now?" Jean replied joyfully, "I feel more confident than ever. Visualization and positive thinking have completely changed my mindset. Now, I face every challenge without fear." The man nodded. "Now you understand that confidence isn't just a feeling, it's a skill you can build with daily practice. When you prepare your mindset for success, no one can stop you." Jean felt the deep confidence within him had solidified. The change he had been striving for so long had finally arrived. Discipline, persistence, visualization, and positive thinking were now part of his daily routine. With these tools, he could face any challenge fearlessly. His thinking and perspective both had changed, and he was filled with more confidence than ever before. One day, the same stranger came to meet Jean again. The man now smiled at Jean, as if he already knew that Jean had implemented all his teachings in his life. Jean also welcomed him with a smile and said, "All your words were true. I practiced visualization and positive thinking, and now I believe in myself. I can face any situation." The man nodded and said, "I have seen that you have changed your thinking a lot, but remember that confidence is not something that can be achieved only once. It has to be maintained continuously." Jean asked, "What do I have to do now?" The man said, "Now you have to learn another important lesson. Confidence of action does not come only from thinking and planning, but also from actually executing it. Now that you have prepared your mind, it is time to implement all of them in real life." Jean said understandingly, "Now I do not only have to think, but also do. the man said smilingly. Absolutely right. Your confidence will only get stronger when you take steps to turn your dreams into reality. Now is the time to work hard to fulfill all the dreams you have thought of. Jim kept this last lesson in his heart. Now, he was not only full of confidence, but also resolved to improve himself every day. He understood that confidence does not come only from mental preparation, but it is achieved by small efforts every day. Now Jim was fully prepared for his life, and he knew that he had the confidence and willpower to face every challenge. So friends, this was our book summary for today. How did you like it? Do let us know by commenting, and thank you for listening to the summary till the end.